I'm Daryn.
I'm Jay.
Well, Jay, you got a interesting quote today from a client, kind of some feedback from a recent webinar we did a week or so ago.
Yes, I did, and you know, it's something that we actually hear quite frequently. Obviously there's a lot of people in this game nowadays. Everyone's getting into arc flash and experimenting a little bit with it. And I actually had a client that we had provided a quote to for an arc flash study, and hadn't received any feedback for a while. But recently we had a little webcast that where you discuss what's out there, what's going on with NFPA 70E, and this client was actually on that webinar, and so just went back today with a little follow-up as to any questions they may have for us. And basically, they had already decided they were going to use a local electrical contractor who's been in and out of the building a lot, but maybe not really familiar with arc flash, but they were comfortable with them. And but they felt that they were just going to get some labels and, as they put it, funny clothing. And actually, after listening to your webcast as to what they really need to do, they've now changed their entire mindset, how they're approaching this arc flash study. They've actually learned that it's about safety. Mm-hmm. It's not just about a software program and somebody who can crawl around your building and collect electrical data. So that's something that we hear quite frequently from our clients. And until you really understand what's all involved with it, it's not something that you're going to read from a website on Google. I mean, you actually have to understand the safety culture behind it.
Yeah, so they went from just going to go through the motions and get some labels and buy some FR clothing to, after the webinar, they had decided that what they really need to do was to mitigate the hazards that they find. And that's the big thing that we preach with all the webinars and the live presentations that we give, is that it's not about labels. Your arc flash analysis, the final goal can't be labels and funny clothes. It's got to be, you have to find those hazards, the ones that you do find. If you can reduce them, reduce them.
Absolutely. And it's like you talk about it, in your discussions. I mean, what are a few things that you feel a company who's looking for an arc flash study, I mean, what do they need to look for in selecting a company? Because I'll tell you what, everyone says, well, we got to have 3 quotes or we got to have 5 quotes. And frankly, you can get that in about 5 minutes by typing it in Google. But besides that, besides coming up first on a web search, what other things do you think a company should really look for?
Yeah, you can't let Google choose your consultant. If you're going into arc flash, it might be a good place to type in best restaurant in Indianapolis or something, but it's not the best place to look for a consulting company, because if you do a Google search for arc flash analysis, the top 10 people on the front page, excuse me, there's a lot of good companies there. A lot of good companies, but there's a few of them that aren't companies at all, or don't have engineers on staff. They do not have a licensed PE on their staff. There's another one that's a broker reseller. They don't even employ people much. I mean, it's marketing and salespeople, and all they're going to do is take your request and send it off to, a bunch of other companies, and you're going to have trouble years later putting those pieces together when you have to have things updated, or months later and have things updated. So make sure you're getting a real company. Don't rely so much on Google, and we do come up on the first page in the top 10, but and there's a lot of good companies that are the reputable firms, but there's some that are not. This is a hot topic right now in business. A lot of people going into it.
Well, what's some things though? I mean, you say make sure that you're looking into a good firm. Okay, I know nothing about arc flash, right. But I know I need a quote. So I type in Google arc flash analysis, and here's 5 companies. I get prices. Some's low, some's high, some's middle of the road. Some look the same, smell the same. How do I don't know anything about this. Right. What can I do to maybe investigate a little further? Make
sure that you dig deep in the company about who's going to be doing the work. Okay. Make sure that this company you've hired is not going to subcontract any of this stuff. Make sure that the company actually has engineers on staff, and ask for the resumes of those engineers.
Right.
Ask for the resumes and call those schools, Ask for PE numbers. Ask for, every state has a place where you can look up PE numbers. You can search these things. So make sure a PE, a professional licensed engineer, is going to be overseeing all this work. Make sure that the field technicians, that is, the people who are going to be in your plant doing this work, you're going to have to live with them for a while. make sure those are people that have experience in this, and make sure they are full-time employees of the company you've hired, not somebody we've just contracted this out, because there's a lot of training needs done to do the proper kind of data collection. It's not as easy as it seems. Just go out and collect wire numbers or wire sizes and breaker numbers and things. It's much more difficult than that. And also make sure the scope is the same. You know, it's good if you get a scope that you send out to these people. Don't ever just say, hey, give me an arc flash analysis quote, because that means different things to different people.
Absolutely.
Some people, they just, they'll say things like, well, send me your drawings, I'll send you some labels and you can buy some funny clothes. Well, make sure you don't get that. Dig into the software the company's going to be using. Make sure they use a reputable software that's out there that's based on IEEE 1584 standards, where the calculations come from. You know, software like ETAP, SKM, EDSA, Easy Power. Those are good names. There's some software out there free on the internet. You know, a spreadsheet that you can download for free. Make sure somebody's not using that.
Right, and that's a big buzzword now. You know, for folks that may be watching this, is you know, free is basically what it is. You know, if you get a company that wants to quote your arc flash analysis and says, well, we'll throw that in for free, or, well, if you want to add this on later, it's going to be this, but for now, you know, you don't really need that. Those a la carte services, as we talk about. You know, it's a safety study at the end of the day, and but that's tough. I mean, that's tough for if you don't know what's required, if you don't know what's really out there. You know, you've got 4 or 5 different companies that, like you say, come up tops. They got to be good. I mean, they come up first on Google. You know, so it's something that I know a lot of the customers that I talk to on a daily basis struggle with, especially when the price comes in and, you know, they're penny pinching. You know, economy's tough. I mean, we understand that, and you know, but at the end of the day, it's some of these things like you mentioned that I think people can really put some value into selecting a vendor that, you know, really knows what they're doing, and you know, a lot of the things that we see out there is companies that sell, I don't know, 15 to 20 different products. You know, we can do your arc flash analysis, but if you want a dishwasher, we'll throw that in too, or, you know, and you know, so, you know, one of the things that we stress to the companies that we work with and that we have a good relationship with is that it's an arc flash analysis, okay? And you need training, okay? And you may need some help with a safety policy. You know, here at Lewellyn, that's all we do. And at the end of the day, you know, if you want those other items, well, we may find somewhere to help you get them, but you know, I mean, it's you got to have your core services that you're looking for at that time, and if you're looking for a price for an arc flash analysis, that's what you need to go out and try to find, not all this other stuff.
Right, and there's a lot of good people out there doing that. We're not the only ones, and make sure you get one of those. Make sure you ask the right kind of questions to get a good firm, not one of these that just went into it because this is a good business thing right now. Another thing, you mentioned tough economy. The economy is having an impact on a lot of things when it comes to developing your 70E programs and your training in your arc flash. Not just the price of what the arc flash analysis might be, but also the training. And different types of delivery methods. It's getting, there's some people out there that will do your arc flash analysis and say, we'll give you free hours or a free hour of training and we'll qualify all your people. Nobody can get qualified in an hour of training, whether you pay for it or not. But there's other delivery methods that are becoming available. We're having a lot of clients now, they're wanting us to videotape the specific class that they're doing and make it available on our website for streaming, specifically just for their clientele, and that's becoming more and more popular, as well as webinars, specific webinars for companies and webinars to do safety training for several companies at one time.